Are we live? I think we're live. Greetings, programs. This is Digital Jedi coming to you iridescently live from Jedi Temple 1. Welcome to another edition of Designing a Jedi, where you watch me design my YouTube channel art live, or at least mostly live. There's a delay. It's pretty big delay. If this is your first time joining us, let me know in the live chat if you're here, and let me know if the stream is consistent, because I'm still experimenting with OBS, trying to get the right settings so that we have an uninterrupted stream. And, well, yeah, uninterrupted stream. What more do you want? So, also, if this is your first time here, just to let you know that I am doing this most weekdays. I try to get this done a little bit earlier, but that hasn't been working out. But, you know, sometimes I run late. So usually it'll be sometime between 8 and 11, but occasionally I don't get to it till about 12. And I do so for about an hour. The purpose of this live stream is so that you can see my YouTube channel art as it develops. What I'm currently working on here is character design for the character that will be appearing that represents me in my YouTube channel artwork. Originally I was going with a generic Jedi design, but as people who have been listening to the other live streams may know, I decided to go with the theme of Digital Jedi. Since that's the screen name I've been using for so many years, it never occurred to me that a Digital Jedi would actually fit with the Tron phrases and terms that I use throughout my various live streams and podcasts. I almost always greet people with greetings programs, and it just, I don't know, it just occurred to me that duh. If you're going to be a digital Jedi, borrow some elements from that film, as it is one of your favorite films. Yeah, I know. It could have been better, but Also, to those of just joining, if you want to be alerted to when I actually do these live streams, since I'm not really getting them out on a regular schedule, but I do them every day, subscribe and then click that bell icon beside the subscription button on my main profile page, and then you'll get notified every time I do one of these. I won't be blowing up your notifications with it. I'm not posting that many videos every week just yet. You'll probably only get one notification a day every weekday. But you'll know when I'm doing it live, and you'll be able to tune in at that hour. That's not nice. Fill it in some. Those of you who have been watching previous live streams, by now have probably figured out that my computer is quirky when it runs Photoshop, and that's why I have to keep switching between windows as the pen tool gets stuck frequently. And switching between windows seems to be the only way to get the pen tool and the program itself to unfreeze instantly. So you'll see me switch between OBS because it is the other window that's open, and Photoshop probably quite often. Let's make that brush a little bigger. Whoops. Oh. And that's right, last week I forgot. If you were here for that live stream, we realized that we went ahead and we programmed the pen tool to stroke the pen for me. At least we had. There we go. So what we've done is we've designed a kind of a Jedi costume here, but with the design aesthetic of Tron Legacy. So more of a tight-fitting outfit, less flowing robes. But we did give it a little bit of a, I don't know, what you call that? Romanesque design, maybe Asiatic design a little bit. Yep, I borrowed this skirt. I borrowed this skirt from Cora, so I don't know how I'm kidding. But it kind of gave the outfit more of that clerical look that the Jedi and the Sith have. Now, this is not the actual artwork that will be there. The actual artwork is, let's see, is it still in my recent? It's not in my recent anymore. No, it's not in my recent anymore. I'll show you the actual. We were designing the character. I was designing the character within the YouTube channel channel art template. This is more or less the old design. See, here's the channel art template. These are the regions that you have to account for. This area here is for, like, I think this whole center section is what will show on the web, and then this smaller section is tablets, and this really small section is mobile. So you kind of have to put the majority of your action in this little block here if you want it to show properly on all devices. And the rest of this, I think this large area here is what shows up on televisions when they look on your channel. So I actually haven't completely tested that out, but I'll have to double check. But yeah, I was, if you look on my channel now, you'll see like a red and blue costume that was there before, and I wasn't really feeling it. And then I got the idea to do the Tron stuff, so you can see I put some glows and things in here, but I still wasn't feeling the design or the look just yet. So during one of our early live streams last week, I decided that I was going to go ahead and design my character in an actual template. So we snatched a Bruce Timm template from off the web, since that's basically the design aesthetic I'm going for. Traced Green Lantern over here for the most part. I made my shoulders a little less. I'll probably go back and increase the shoulders again. I was being picky that day. And we're designing the costume from in there. So we're inking this, but we're not going to be too particular about how it comes out, because we are just coming up with a design. I'm sure that I'll change some things as we go along. Whoops. Let's drag that out a little bit more. And of course there's those weird feet that Bruce Timm likes to draw. The only thing that I'm overwhelmingly compelled to change whenever I try to emulate his style is those pointy ass feet of his. But as I've said before, it's probably easier to animate when you go with a basic shape like this. Lost the anchor point there. And if you want to watch previous editions of this live stream, I'm putting them all in a playlist on my channel. They're unlisted, so you'll have to go to my channel to find the playlist. It's just called Designing a Jedi. I should probably put a link in the description, shouldn't I? Make sure that the right tool is selected when you fill this stuff. Does that actually fill with white? That doesn't look like it filled with white. It half filled with white. That one's still inverted for some reason. Also, if you watch previous editions, you probably remember the fights that I had with the pen tool and trying to fill shapes. I was certain that was a skill I had mastered. I should probably be more careful when I'm dropping these anchor points, because when it comes time to fill with color, if I'm not precise, I will have a lot of leaks. Yeah, that's fine. If your shapes aren't completely sealed, you'll have leaks. What was I doing there? Kind of a weird thing going on there, but yeah, we'll live with it. Something get filled here. Like something got filled there. maybe not. Whoa. No. I think the problem may be stemming from my from my stylus. It's an older Intuos, and I think it double, triple, quadruple clicks some days. Oh wow, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, there's some stuff about the new Photoshop I haven't learned yet. I've been working in I've been working in like Photoshop CS for a number of years because I had to, and only recently broke open CC, and yeah, there's some things that catch me by surprise. Try to do this disc from the outside. That's probably not the shape we want. We'll leave that be for now. You know what? I didn't even sketch this in here. That's something I need to sketch to work in here. Let's see, how's Tim do that mouth? Kind of short. Let's zoom in here, because I know those lines are not. That's fine. Probably freehand these eyes a bit. And oh yeah, be sure to save. Coffee. If we layer the background with black or dark color, you can see that we've already included the white areas that will glow. Let's fill that back up with white. And keep in mind, if you do leave a message in the chat, that it is on a delay. So I won't respond to it right away because I won't get it right away. And I don't have the chat on this screen, so I'm being too precise again. But I do want to get the look down. That's a fill. Hello, Phil. Problem that I run into with the pen tool comes when I have to grab one of the handlebars on the anchor points. And I don't know if there's like Yeah, I think we're stuck. Come back. There's something going on where the Intuos pen just multi-taps, sends too many taps to the machine, and I end up with just getting stuck in a loop. Let me see the other. Presumably this is not something that's raised. Now we can fill this circle out. Or we can do this. And just fill that part of the circle. I don't know if I'll even bother with the... because it looks like it would barely show from that angle. And as we've mentioned before, the trick to doing an animated style is resisting the urge to be too detailed. Because animation requires that you recreate these characters, that you redraw these characters over and over and over again. They have to redraw them so many times they have to farm out teams to finish the in-betweens for them. At least the professional ones do. And those animation crews that you usually see do really great stuff online have probably been doing it themselves, and they've probably been working on the animation for months or even years. So this streamlines the process, and it actually looks really good. Because when you do simplify, when you don't add in a bunch of detail, you have to choose your lines more carefully. And you have to say, is this an exciting look for this character? And it really does give these characters more depth, a more stylized look. Hence the reason the animated series design has been so popular. The Batman the Animated Series, the Bruce Timm stuff has been popular for so long. How do we end up on that layer? Seems to be a lot more lines than the other one, doesn't it? Let's actually close it off here. That's still a little inconsistent, but you know. Doesn't have to be precise, but it helps if you get the design right. Let's just add an anchor point here. Or better yet, let's just drag this one up. And delete this anchor point. let's drag these out. Change to this pen tool, this arrow tool. The black arrow tool drags everything. The white arrow tool drags either just the anchors or drags out the line in between the anchors, creating some weird curve shapes. And you can even stroke multiple lines at once. Whoops. Just don't deselect your path. Did I not fill those in? I did not fill these in. It kind of looks weird. I think what I was going for here was basically the kind of cartoony lightsaber that is on. That's part of my logo. Just fill that with the right color, please. That may be something we change. I don't know if I'm sold on this yet. And we might even have time to color today. Who knows? Maybe. No promises. I'm connecting the top and bottom here because, as you saw when I did the other sleeve, these are a fill. So these lines are not being stroked, they're being filled. Being fill. Let's see. Fill path with foreground color. I wish I'd realized that the pen tool did what it did. I never really looked into it, and honestly, like about probably 95% of the things that I do, maybe 85 if we don't get overly generous. 85% of the things that I did in Photoshop were simplified when I figured out how to use the pen tool. That's everything from, I don't know, from selecting areas to fill with color, or rather creating areas to fill with color, sorry, lost my train of thought. That everything from creating areas to fill with color to creating areas that you just want to add your selected brushes stroke to selecting areas that you want to erase, to remove, say the background of something. Again, sorry about the switching. It's the only way that I can get the pen tool to unstick. Well, what happened there? It doesn't need to be exactly the same. You still have white selected. Of course, the pen tool strokes with the last selected brush, which it's this one that I have here. These are all custom brushes that I made for certain things that I specifically do. So whatever brush you had selected last, whatever size it was in, that's the brush that it will stroke the line with. We'll go with something like that. That includes your eraser. If your eraser was the last one selected, it will fill it with emptiness. And that may not be what you want. Whatever the foreground color is. And also, if you right click a path and select stroke subpath, you'll get options where you can actually pick and choose what tool you want to show, whether you want to simulate the pressure of a pen. So it'll go to the it will start with the widest. I'm sorry, it'll start with the narrowest point of your pen. Well, actually, this will change depending on how you have your brush customized. So it will start with however your brush starts. So if your brush starts like these brushes over here, narrow, then it'll make the middlemost point of the pen wide, and then it'll go down to narrow. So this might not be what you want if your brush is made a certain way. So I have special brushes here that are designed that do not get very narrow. Like this one that I'm using now, it doesn't get much wider than it starts, and it does not stop at a point. It narrows, but more like where if I was drawing and I lifted my brush up suddenly. So if I was drawing and I lifted my brush up, and I think my tool is, I think my brush is using pen pressure properly right now. There we go. So if I press hard and then I lighten up a little bit. So what this will do is it will emulate that in a more clean stroke. But for example, I have some pens that are reversed. Some of these I like to use for my signature. They're thicker at the end than they are in the middle. That's how the stroke will work. It'll start thick, get thin, end thick. So however you've customized each of those brushes, that's how it'll draw it. I don't know, we gotta do something here. I'm not sure why I drew like a box on his back. I know what the discs look like. They kind of stick out, don't they? I know. Let's go with something precise. I think we already have. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? That shape right there. Let's copy that shape. Control C, Control V to paste it. You may have seen me use this technique for creating holes inside of larger shapes. This time I'm going to only just make it narrow, and you may have seen in previous live streams how that gets carried away and doesn't want to stop when I stop. This will make sure it's centered. We'll fill that with white. Do a bit differently here. I said white, and we'll stroke this area with black. And that kind of sort of is what it looks like from the side, but I know it does stick out. We might move it, but I know it sticks out. It's basically what I was wanting. Should I play Daft Punk in the background when I'm doing this? Yeah, it'll get copyrighted. I was going to put something on the back of the knees, but I may leave that alone. I am going to do something down here, though. Something like that. Be nice if you filled it with the right color the first time. This foot is turned quite a bit. Don't think I drew that in the right place originally. And like I said, these things on the knees, I have no idea what I want to do with those. I don't like either one of those. It looks like I have Tylenol caplets on each knee. Well, let's try this. Height. Whoa. Yeah, that's something that you can do too, which I didn't mean to. You can constrict the shape of just part of a path. Just the selected anchor points can be manipulated. Whatever you can do with transform on a normal document, you can do with a path and with individual points of a path. I don't know. We may redraw this. I'm just going to redraw this. Hold down shift when you drag the hold down shift when you drag the tool, and you can get a perfect circle or perfectly proportional shape. Just delete this one. Whoops, don't delete both of them. Hold down Alt when you touch a shape and you make a copy. Hold down Shift when you select two shapes and you construct both of them at the same time. Or fill both of them at the same time, which is what I'm supposed to be doing here. Let me go with the disc things, like I have on the back of the outfit here. As usual, sleepy. So, yeah, for the most part, like I said, we're not going for precise, precision, high quality looking stuff here. We're just trying to come up with our design for this. So we'll save, and we'll, since we have a little bit of time left, we'll get into these colors a bit. Whoops. I double clicked something I didn't want to click. Get out of here. So we don't need the paths showing right now. And we don't need the pencil layer showing. Alright, let's do the only areas that are showing skin is the face. See, there's the leak. Now I do use the magic wand tool all the time. I've heard there's some hatred of the magic wand, and I don't see it. It's functional. You just have to know to use it to your advantage. So I have some shortcuts set up on my tablet here that I'll tell you about in a sec. Alright, does this fill properly? Yeah. So what I do is have my tool set to about this default tolerance, but I have contiguous, sample all layers, anti-alias is turned off, and I'll explain why in just a sec. Could have sworn I made those touching. Alright, so we'll select all these areas that are supposed to have skin. Oh, I didn't even see that. Once again, select the areas that have skin, which are not many. And I have a shortcut set on my tablet to open this tool right here. Select, where is it? Modify, expand, and by default it will do it by 2. Or rather, my settings are set by 2. And I was able to do that. Well, I didn't actually set a shortcut for that. I just used what Photoshop does by default. If you hold down Alt and hit S, it opens this menu. Then I have it actually, I believe I actually go M, presses the letter M, and then the letter C for contract, rather E for expand, I should say. So that's Alt S, M, E. The number 2, it automatically puts in the number 2 and then enter. And I have all that programmed into one button on my tablet. Expand pixels. So anti-alias is turned off so that it doesn't pick up any extra pixels around the outside. As you can see, originally it was not precise. There was a lot of aliasing right here. So the tool expands by 2 pixels and will get all the color, and I can hide this before I fill it so that you can see. Then I have a fill shortcut set up. I've got the legacies of the DCAU color palette here, so I guess I'll just use that. Oh yeah, make sure you use the right layer. Yeah, there we go. And you can see anything that you didn't mean to fill. Hopefully that color palette wasn't proprietary. I don't think it was. I'm assuming it wasn't. Make sure you do that on the right layer. Once again, I never look at this. I should look at this right here, or just this. Just try to make it a habit to glance on what layer you're on before you take any actions, or before you decide to do something new. Can save you a lot of. When it comes to creating art, anything that shaves off a minute or two, a second or two, all that stuff adds up over time. So anything you can do to streamline your process will help greatly. So I hide the selection tool here. It's still selected, but you can't see the marching ants thing. And oh, select the right color. That's racist. Yeah. Whoops. What was I doing? Okay, deselect. Oh, did I never expand? I never expanded. That's why things look weird. There we go. But once again with the racism. Yeah, there we go. Knew something didn't look right. Okay. Now as far as the colors go, I'm not going to open Chrome on this computer because this computer is low resource and it screws with the stream as it is. I'll open this other one and I'm going to take a look at these. My microphone's in the way of my keyboard. I don't have a stand yet. I have a coat hanger. Let's look up some Tron Legacy costumes. And my mouse is not connected. And let's see if the copy paste works today. We'll copy an image from the intranet. The intranet. That's what hillbillies call it, the intranet. Because there's so much Wi-Fi up there. I just grab a random picture of Sam Flynn. Okay. Alright, well, while my laptop decides what to do, let's try to fill in some areas here. That's interesting. Yeah, that's just the white covering it. Probably should close. I'm going to close the white glows so that I can fill in these dark areas. We'll go ahead and select these. Oh. I got leaks. Where do I got leaks? Yeah, I mean, I knew that would happen. I told you that would happen, and I went ahead and did it anyway. So, I only have myself to blame. Let's fill these areas in, because sometimes that's unavoidable. Why did I stroke that? Oh yeah, I meant to go back and... Looks like I missed that leg. We're going to wrap things up in about 5 minutes here, so maybe a little more than that. Because I got some other ish to do. I got a YouTube channel to maintain and theoretically mouths to feed. There's one mouth I have to feed, and she's small and she's going to be waking up soon. So. Oh, look at that, I missed an ear. So, anyone getting motion sickness yet? Let's see if I can copy this image of Sam Flynn over here. This sometimes works and this sometimes doesn't. No? Nothing? Alright. We'll just save it to Dropbox. 2 laptops, 2 different things. It's called Sam Tutorial? Okay. Apparently I grabbed that from a tutorial on how to make a Sam Flynn costume, which, you know, I might make this costume one day. If I can actually get out to some cons and I actually get my, you know, either to promote my channel or to, uh-oh, that's going to open Chrome, isn't it? Dang it. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. See if we can stop Chrome from opening, because that slows things down here, over here. Low resource computer. There's the image I wanted. Yeah, it's trying to open. There's the CPU going full. Out of here. Okay, hopefully that didn't screw with the stream too much. Stream health is orange. Well, that doesn't mean good. But at least I'm not noticing buffering on either end here. What were we doing? I closed my folder. Alright, we'll put that in as a smart object. And basically we're just going to do some color reference here. Yeah, we're not going that detailed. But maybe we will select some of the blacks here and see if we can get approximately the look. Because we don't want jet black. Let's go with the main portion of the tunic. Let's do a new layer. Let's call this one skin. Skin does not start with an A. Okay, open up the whites and see how that looks. It's a little bit darker than, yeah, see, you can't see the line highlights that I added, so we're gonna go smaller. We having some stream issues. Thanks, Chrome. Let's grab the adjustment tool and just do brightness contrast. And well, not brightness. I actually don't think that'll do anything. Hue saturation. Yeah. Let's lighten it a bit. That looks kind of in the blue spectrum. Actually, I got a better idea. Let's select and let's hide the pixels, hide the marching ants. And I see that this black is basically blue, but that probably comes from the fact that they're of the blue highlights on Sam. Maybe we want something like that, but maybe we want it just a hair darker. And let's just experiment with the different types of grays here. There's sun shining in on my computer here, but that might possibly be what I'm looking for. Brightness turned all the way up. Oh, my brightness was down. That might contribute to why I was having a hard time. Yeah. Yeah, that might be what I'm looking for. What's going on there? And we'll worry about that later. That two different types, circle types. Yeah. That might work. And you know what we could do? Yeah, I don't know why we still have. Oh, close that, fool. Let's go with something. Let's go with actual black down here. Yeah. Get off my case, Photoshop. Maybe something a little lighter. Why am I so far away? Maybe. Let's have to put some thought into it. And maybe what we'll do is we'll take a closer look at these highlight areas and we'll just go with something that's maybe something that's not so blue. So go more into the grays. Maybe. And then maybe we'll use some grays, some lighter grays to do highlights in the cuts here. And that might work. Solid black didn't look good on these arms and stuff. We can look again. Well, maybe it does look better when you take the blues out. Yeah. So just get the grays. The blue. This costume over here is probably the only reason it has blue in it is because of the surrounding light and the light reflecting off of his costume's accents, the glows. But it's not truly blue. It's just picking up the blues, which is kind of what we want this costume to do. I don't know why this is bugging me. Usually I'd add this last, but let's add this real quick so that we can get a general idea of what we're going for here. Not white. Going for a Sam Flynn look. Well, we could do white, but just nudge the spread up a little bit. Ooh, there's some mistakes. You can see mistakes. My mistakes are glowing. It's a pretty dramatic glow, so maybe I'll highlight it a little better next time. And we'll probably add a, let's see, do we have smart blur? I'm not really sure how smart blur works. And I want to add a Gaussian blur, but I don't want to actually mess with the actual layer just yet. Okay, clearly I don't know how that works. Hey, but that's a great idea for a Sith, a digital Sith right there. Okay, we'll fool around with that another time. Whoa. Let's just fix a few things and we'll wrap things up. We'll wrap things up here. Oh, should know better than that. Why are you not letting me pick the handle, and why are you adding it to that? Alright, you. Out the way. See the problems that it gives me. Alright. Ink layer black. Stroke. A little bit wider, please. I could have done that by hand, but the principle of the thing. Let's see where the opening is in this piece. That didn't let me select the pants separately. Nope, still not. Control D. Hello. Stupid frozen computer. Nope, still selecting everything on the outfit. I don't see an opening. Oh, I see. It was just a little too dark for the pixel range I had selected. Okay. Delete that. Let's go to this layer. Select that color. That you don't have that tool anymore. Remember yesterday I said I was going to forget that. Or Friday I said I was going to forget that. It's funny where I layered my whites in some instances. This happens a lot of the time. Clearly, we did not do things right here. But that's what happens when you get tired. No, actually, you're fine. Again, tired. You shouldn't. They tell you that you should try every day, and that is true. But you should give yourself a break sometimes, because sometimes you can look at something for too long, and you can start making mistakes for no good reason. Sometimes to come back to it with fresh eyes an hour or so later, or a day later, as the case may be. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to wrap things up. Thanks to everyone who watched the live stream, and thanks to everyone who is watching this on the repost, the not live stream, but whatever you call that. As I said at the beginning, if you want to be notified of these live streams when they happen, go to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, please do that, and then click the little bell icon, and that will let you know. That will let you know when I'm online, probably most of the time. I'm not really sure how that thing works. I don't think anybody is. When you do subscribe, you'll be notified of my uploads as I add them. We're not going to blow up your uploads too much because I don't make that many videos currently, but we're working on it. In fact, in the coming months, you should see more video uploads from me on a more regular basis. We do reaction videos right now, me and Mrs. Digital Jedi, but you should see some new stuff coming from me down the road, in addition to stuff like movie reviews, television show reviews, and just commentary in general of a geek nature. When you do see this live stream up, ordinarily this will be between, okay, let me rephrase that. This is scheduled to air between the hours of 8 and 11. One of the hours in between there, but lately I've only been getting to it about 11 or 12. So that's why I tell you to go ahead and click the little bell icon, because it'll let you know when I'm on. Alright, so far I think that looks pretty good. for a basic design. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Why would I ever need something that small? So far that looks pretty good for a basic design. We'll stop there and we'll pick up again tomorrow. Ideally, we'll pick up at the time I have scheduled, which is what does my calendar say? My calendar says that this is supposed to be scheduled for... Wow. It's supposed to be scheduled for 8. That's unlikely to happen. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. As I said, stay tuned and you will see me do this every day this week, barring famine, flood, and pestilence, which is actually a little more likely than it was last year. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully this will not cut off while I'm in the middle of a sentence. And I will see you guys tomorrow. This is Digital Jedi saying peace out. See you on the grid.